Good morning. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to be here this morning and speak on behalf of the parents of children at Sewall. These parents are giants in my mind, and so I really hope that I do all of you good service. And I want to thank Anna for being the first one to cry on this stage, because as much as I'll be working not to. I'm Eileen Piper, and I am married to Matt, who you can see here and down at the table. We have two beautiful children. Xavier is 7. He's just finishing his first year of first grade, hopefully the only year of first grade. And Liam is our 4-year-old, and he is a dolphin at Sewall. Liam he's got undiagnosed developmental delays. He's got both cognitive delays as well as physical delays. On the physical side, he is really challenged by balance and coordination. On the cognitive side, he's probably functioning at about 20 to 24 months. But I think more than anything, what I want you to know is that we think we've got 2 perfect children, and we wouldn't change a single thing about either one of them. What I want to do is share Liam's story and our family's story before Sewall, because I think that provides the context and helps you to understand what an extraordinary place Sewall is. So kind of the thing that all of us women really want to know, Liam was a full-term baby. When he popped out, he was small. He was just about 5.5 pounds, which his mother greatly appreciated because his brother has an enormous head. And so to have him come out was a pure delight. In his first year, he largely hit all of his milestones, except by the end of his first year, we had to prop him in order to sit him up well. So we were starting to get clues that something was going on. By 2 years old, he wasn't walking and he wasn't talking. And so that's really where we started the journey that we are going to be continuing on for a long, long time. So we started working with doctors and folks out at the Child Development Unit, out at the Children's Hospital. And that's when we started his therapies, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. He participated in Denver Options, and we're working with the neurologist out at Children's Hospital to this day. When he turned 3, he became part of Child Find. And Child Find for us was a very jarring experience. I don't think that this is so different than what other families experience. When he joined Child Find, the folks at Child Find spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours with Liam and assessed, and then they identified a placement for Liam. So whereas in the past we had therapists that worked with our family, and we were able to really be very engaged and really circling around Liam, it was very jarring because they identified the treatment that they believed that he required, and then they identified the placement. And you heard, I'm an early childhood educator. My husband will tell you I'm a woman of strong opinion. I had some great concerns about them selecting the placement without any input from the family, but at the same time really wanted to be collaborative, and these people really worked with these children every single day. So at the time that we went through all of this, Liam was just gaining his first words. He was starting to learn how to be social. He was a very curious child. He loved to be into things and exploring things. The placement for Liam that they selected was a self-contained classroom. What that means is that Liam was in a classroom only with other special education children, all of whom had more severe disabilities than Liam. Children learn the very best from their peers, and Liam in this environment had no peer models. We also know, to a single child in that classroom, they deserved integration. They deserved to be with their typical peers, and the typical peers deserve to have those children in the classroom with them as well, because it's a phenomenal learning experience for every single child to be able to work together. So not only was it a not integrated classroom, and Liam had no typical peers to learn from, the other thing was that because of other children's limitations, all of the materials were put away or closed off from the children. So Liam had no stimulation, and he was a very curious child. The teacher, he knew the teacher's desk better than the teacher did by the end of this, because that was the one place where he could really get in and explore and discover new things. So the bottom line is that this environment was not great for Liam. Not only did we not see any progress, in fact, we saw plateauing, and in some cases, we saw some reduction in his abilities, and he came home with some very undesirable behaviors. He started headbanging, and he started screaming when he was getting upset, and these were not things that he had before. We as a family, we protested the placement, but we had no voice. Every single angle that we came to was closed down from our perspective. So that's Liam's story. For our perspective, for us as a family, Liam exists in a family. So for us, I think I would kind of approach this from two different ways. First of all, I think that a special needs child is just about the finest and greatest gift that any family can receive. They touch the family. They teach us patience. They teach us courage and endurance, and they help all of us in the family to be finer than what we were before that child came into our family. Liam, I've got 2 kids. Every parent knows that you love your children very differently. Liam is extraordinary. He's my light, and he brings a special joy to our family that simply wouldn't exist without him. But all of us know, too, that great things come at a great price. We all have to work really hard. And for Liam, we needed to work very, very hard. So as a parent, these doors were closing, made us feel very hopeless. We were trying so hard. You're juggling therapies. We're constantly going to doctor's appointments. You're managing medications. You're exhausted physically, you're exhausted emotionally. The highs and what those children deliver as their successes is so sweet, and the lows are just so low. And you're exhausted because when you're out in the community, there is a constant judgment. And whether you're walking down the street and people look, Liam has a pretty clumsy walk, and you see the abilities in your child, others outside don't. They see the disability, and it makes you feel very alone. And in this particular situation, we saw the glimpses. We saw Liam as what he could potentially be, and we didn't have any allies to really walk alongside us as far as that programming, which is so critical for our children. That programming, we felt helpless. And then 2 things changed last summer. First of all, Liam came to the top of the wait list at Sewall. And secondly, Erin Turner, and I want to name her because she's our family's hero. Actually, her name needs to go up on that wall. Erin Turner came into Child Find, and for the first time in a very large, very bureaucratic system, we had somebody who sat down and listened to us as parents and listened to Liam's teachers to really understand really what might be best for Liam. And that's how we have come to Sewall today, and that's how Liam has now got his placement through Child Find at Sewall. And so now, let me tell you about Sewall as a program, and then the impact that it's had on us as a family. So first of all, I'm, like I said, early childhood educator. The teachers at Sewall are second to none. I am awed by them because of the intention, because of the environment and how they focus on every single child, typical or not, of really identifying their current developmental level and thinking of ways of how they can take that child to the next level. The teachers, the therapists, accomplish it every single day, and they work in collaboration. The communication is ongoing as far as the supports that we get and ideas that we receive in order to implement that at home. It's real integration. It's pure and true. That blend is of children in the classroom are children with IEPs and without, at a whole variety of levels of capabilities. And those teachers focus every single day with all of those children on how to bring out the best in each other and really focus on your friend, because they are all friends, and really thinking about who that child is as an individual and what we need to do. And doggone it, that is something I know I need to learn as I think about how I interact with folks and thinking about how to bring out the best. And then the therapies occur in the room. Before, Liam was always pulled out of the classroom, and that from a child with special needs is a big deal because they need to understand the new behavior, but they need to know how to bring that into the natural environment. And that doesn't necessarily intuitively happen. So the therapies are occurring within the classroom. As parents, we're not alone anymore. We went from this place of tremendous loneliness to a place where I think Liam's therapist, and certainly Peggy, and his teachers are every bit as charmed by Liam, perhaps, as his parents are, and are really engaged and really making sure that he receives every single advantage that he deserves. And we have our IEP meetings. Those have been transformed as far as really feeling like we've got great collaboration. One of my favorite conversations was when the teachers and the therapists started going back and forth in a meeting to make sure that they were being appropriately challenging for Liam and the goals that we were setting. So those are the logistics, but now let me tell you about the impact that this has had on our family. First of all, for Liam, 1 year ago, he had a handful of words, and his IEP, the big goal, was to walk the stairs, to be able to walk up the stairs. This year, Liam has a vocabulary of hundreds of words. He's putting together 3 and 4 sentence words. He went from last year being challenged to walk up the stairs. He's on that balance bike and he is blowing around the playground, and it's a phenomenal thing to see. He's learning how to be silly, and he's starting to reach out to his friends in order to interact with all of them. And he's counting. And for all of us who have this skill down pat, it's a big deal. You're taking this very conceptual idea of counting and applying it to objective items, and he's only counting up to 4. But he's counting, and he requires some coaching, but he's counting. And so these advances within 9 months, 8 months, are phenomenal. And we absolutely attribute that to the collaboration that we've got with our Sewall teachers and therapists. Matt and I have got a whole new known sense of peace. It's not on our shoulders alone. In the past, it felt like Liam's future and every opportunity that he was going to receive was on us. And it's such a tough system to figure out how to navigate, and we don't have to do that anymore. And so the teachers are really equipping us and really helping us. But that piece, it translates into our family interactions, it translates across the board. But it also means that we as a city are going to be in a much better place, because Sewall just doesn't contain their services within their 4 walls. They reach out to work across the city and in collaboration with programs to make sure that every single child receives exactly what they deserve, and not a bit less. So we still don't know who Liam is going to be. That's still part of the gift of Liam that we're unwrapping. We don't know if his capabilities have plateaued or if he's going to continue to escalate over time. But what we do know, we know that we couldn't ask for finer people to be working with our son. We have phenomenal partners at Sewall. We feel as a family so blessed and so thankful for the gift that Sewall has been to all of us. And with that, I want to thank the teachers. I want to thank the therapists who work every single day. Heidi and Carrie and Kathy and Kara, who work behind the scenes to enable the teachers to do what they do. But really importantly, all those volunteers and all of those financial supporters. This place could not function without you, and you are invisible and behind the scenes, but we as a family know you're there, and we appreciate you deeply. Thank you very much.